Hello everyone, this is a short demo about TagOps. TagOps is a tool that can help you automate tagging in your AWS environment. We believe that there is a huge value to tags, and there are quite a lot of use cases for tags. In fact, you can see some of them down here. So we decided to build a tool that can help you achieve that and do some real good tagging with almost zero effort. So let's see how we can do it. So first of all, you will have to sign up. If you already have an account, click on sign in. Once you log in, you'll be prompted to this dashboard. Currently, this dashboard is empty, doesn't have anything inside it, and that makes sense because we don't have any AWS accounts. Let's onboard an AWS account. So we will need a name for the account. I'll go with demo account. Then we will need the AWS account ID. So we will hop on to our AWS, take the account ID and go back here and paste the account ID. Then you can modify your role name. So if you have a naming convention, this is the place to enforce it. And all of that information generates a CloudFormation stack. But if you have a different window open or it's not in the same browser, then you can just copy the link and go to AWS and deploy it. So let's see how it looks in AWS. So this is my AWS account. I copied the link and now I'm prompted to create a CloudFormation. So by default, if we're not adding any AWS regions, we will be deploying TagOps just on, we'll be onboarding just a single region, the Ireland region in my case, but I would also like to onboard North Virginia and Frankfurt. So let's add those two, and we acknowledge creation of resources, and let's create a stack. Now, while it's being created, let's talk about how TagOps scans and finds information from AWS accounts. So what this CloudFormation does, it creates roles and policies and the event bridge rules that will allow TagOps to find new events that are going in your environment. So if there is, let's say, someone creating an EC2 instance, there will be an event on that in the backend that will be prompted to us via event bridge rules, and we will be able to enforce tagging on that resource right away, right? So it happens in real time. Second way the TagOps operates is having a scan. So each day, maybe once a week, depends on how you configure that on TagOps. I will show you in a minute. There will be a scan running on your environment. That scan looks for potential non-compliance with existing tagging policies that you've set up on TagOps, and it will automatically enforce those policies on your resources. And that's also nice. So basically these two methods together combined, giving us almost 100% certainty that we didn't miss any event or any tagging, as long as it's a service that is supported by TagOps. So this is the main idea and how TagOps operates. Let's see what's our stack. Well, this is great timing. So the stack is also finished. Now we can go back to TagOps and click on verify account. So now when we click on verify, two things happen. We will first of all verify that we can assume the role that we just created in CloudFormation, and then we will check if CloudTrail is enabled. We're checking for CloudTrail because CloudTrail is a prerequisite to do event-based recording. Without CloudTrail, we will not be able to operate in near real time, and we will just rely on scans. Not recommended, and CloudTrail is a security best practice in general. So highly recommended to be using CloudTrail. So once we got on the information, the stack is deployed, we can add the account. And in here, we'll give it a moment to finish creating, and we will get a notification here. Yep, it's previous accounts. We will get notification here that the account has been successfully created, and we can configure it. So if we click on configure, we will have a few configurations. So first of all, we can control the regions. Yes, if you remember, on the CloudFormation we added some regions, but here you can disable them without modifying CloudFormation. So TagOps will not operate on any regions that are not selected in the allowed regions. Next, you can play around with the types of resources or services that you want TagOps to scan and work with. So for example, if for some reason don't want TagOps to tag anything related to Bedrock, you can go ahead and unselect that, and it goes down to Bedrock, to disabled services. Okay, for the sake of the demo, I will enable it, but keep in mind that you can disable it. Last thing, system settings. So on system settings, we can set up the scan. So let's say that we want the scan to be on 10 p.m. at 23 minutes, basically 2 minutes from now in my time, and it will happen every day. But feel free to play around to fit your schedule. Next, the core where the magic happens is the tagging rules. So here we will start with creating a template. Let's call it template demo. The template has one very important benefit, and that is the dynamic tag. Dynamic tag is a kind of tag which value is dynamically populated depending on the event. So let's say you wanna have some sort of tag that says when the resource was created. So, you know, the timestamp is changing. Time is always moving forward. So that is a dynamic value. And whenever a resource is created, we need to capture that specific timestamp and put it in tag. So this is what I'm talking about. So dynamic values are values that are changing based on the time or who created the resource. So the two most interesting dynamic tag values are the created by and the creation date. The creation date allows you to know when the resource was created, and created by is who created the resource. So this is good just to have those two, and I'll create a template just for that. So this will be our first rule. So let's call the first rule demo creation date user. Okay, so and this will be helpful to operations as well as security, but let's keep it operations. We will have a single condition that will look for account ID. So as long as whatever the event is coming is happening on this specific account, and all of the conditions evaluate to true, yes, you can have multiple, and you can either create conditions with and or. So feel free to play around and create your logic, but as long as all of those evaluate to true, these actions will be taken. Now in our case, we'll be using a template. This means that two tags will be created, the created by and the creation date. Okay, so this is just a simple rule that I think can benefit almost everyone using TagOps. Next rule we will be creating, actually no, hold on, before we create another rule, let's see it in action. So let's hop on back to our AWS environment. In our AWS environment, hold on, I will, okay, no, I didn't create an EC2 instance, but we will create one right now. Let's create an EC2 instance. Now in the EC2 instance EC2 demo, we can, hold on just a second, let me first of all create it. Yes, and of course we will need a role. Yeah, that's good. Okay, now once we create something, you know, something happened, right? There is an event going in the backend. Now this event will be captured by TagOps, and if everything is working correctly, you will see here under tags that we have two new tags created by, this is my role that I'm using right now. So this is good. And the name, sorry, not the name, the creation date, right? So we see that the time when I created the instance. So that's nice. That's not something that you have. I don't think, I mean, I'm not familiar with any of the tool that gives you that. Maybe some open source stuff, but it always requires maintenance and, you know, someone to manage it. But here, just with a simple rule, you already have that. And we continue to expand support for all AWS services, and slowly we'll get there. But currently we support a lot of right out of the box. So that's working. That's good. Now let's see it in action with a different rule, a little bit more complicated, let's say. So let's jump back to TagOps. In TagOps, let's create another rule. Let's call it rule test demo instance. Okay, and I want the rule to apply. Let's call it cost management rule. Let's take a template, cost center template, and let's say that, okay, resource name. So if the resource that I'm modifying or creating, or basically the resource name contains a specific string, in my case it will be demo, then we'll be adding three tags. We'll be adding cost center, department, and budget. So department will be demo, the budget, let it be Alex, and the cost center will be, I don't know, let's call it production, even though it's a demo. Next, we enable, we save the rule. Now, what happens? If we go back to Amazon, yep, we have our EC2 demo instance. Now, so far nothing happened. You will not see any tags here. However, when I modify a tag right now, and let's say I give some random value, on the backend an event will be triggered. And that event will reach TagOps. TagOps will evaluate all the tags that this resource needs to have. And if it sees that there are tags missing, it will automatically apply them. So what we are supposed to see right now is we are supposed to see a few more tags, and that's good. So we see the department tag has been added, the cost center tag has been added, and the budget owner tag has been added, along with the custom tag that we just created. What happens if we want to delete a tag? Let's say I'm a bad person. I don't want any of those tags to be here. I don't know. I did something bad and I don't want anyone to know. So I related tags. This should cover my tracks in a way, I guess. Man, there's collateral, there are other things to consider, but let's say that I'm relying on tags a little bit. So essentially, TagOps should find that and restore your tags. The creation date is restored, the budget owner is restored, the name, the created by, cost center, department. So you don't need to worry about someone deleting your tags, they will simply be restored by TagOps. That's also a nice feature, guys, right? That's it. You get the idea. So from here on, feel free to, I don't know, imagine or create your tagging strategy, and with the help of TagOps, hopefully you'll be able to achieve that. One last thing I didn't show you. Sorry, two last things. The user management. So first of all, you can always invite more users if you need. There are three different kind of roles: the power role, a power user role, the read-only, and administrator role. I guess you know what it means. The difference between administrator and power user is that power user cannot manage users, and administrator can also manage users. That's it. So essentially, when you give power user to someone, he should be good to go. And one last thing is the inventory page. Now, currently the inventory, oh, okay, the scan has already finished. If you remember when we onboarded, we did a short scan. So the scan was already finished and it found 103 resources in my environment. So you can always see those resources here. You can filter by whether they are tagged, whether they are untagged. You can filter by specific tag. Well, as you can see, my environment is not tagged at the moment, so the only tags that we see are my tags that we've created just now. And of course, we can filter by tags and find resources. So let's say I want to filter by budget owner. And tagged all. So we see the resource. One last thing is that now that we have something, the dashboard will not be empty. So you actually have some information. You can filter by resources, see where are your resources located. Maybe if you want to filter by specific tag, well, we only have one resource with a tag, so it's really boring, nothing new here. But once you have many, you will, see much more information, much more interesting. Tag key distribution, tag value distribution. So here you can basically see information about your tags. Again, kind of boring because we have just one instance with a tag, but if you have multiple, then this can give you much more insight, like what are the most popular tag keys in your environment, or maybe what is the most popular value for each tag key, etc. So this way you can maybe analyze and see and understand what are the biggest departments in your AWS accounts. And that's it. Okay, so this is TagOps. So now I want you to consider, I want you to think, what are the use cases that I have for tags, and if TagOps can help you, right? We've summarized a little bit of different use cases. You can also visit the documentation. In the documentation, you can also have visit the use cases page, and we try to map a lot of different use cases from Amazon white papers, from Amazon documentation, from different blogs that people written and discussed. And I think there are plenty, and I'm sure we didn't cover all of them. I mean, we just barely scratched the surface. So thank you for your time. I hope this was informative. Um, See you.